Wiliam Crowder is the Managing Director of DreamIt Ventures and DreamIt Access Program Lead. He's responsible for the oversight and operation of DreamIt Access, a groundbreaking vision to dramatically increase the number of minority-led startups in the tech sector. Wiliam is founder and managing director of Growth Strategy Advisors, a strategic advisory and business development company launched in 2008. Since its inception, Wiliam has overseen the firm's growth and nationwide expansion. He has over 15 years of strategy and operations consulting experience. I bring you Wiliam Crowder.
Thank you, Christine. I'm going to go ahead and do something right now, which is a little bit out of character. I'm going to break a lot of rules tonight, so I just want to let you know that ahead of time. Typically, when you're speaking, you try to stay in one place. You try to make sure that everyone can hear you, so you try to focus everyone's attention in one place. And when I get excited about what I'm talking about, I have to move. So if you'll bear with me, I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going to skip around a little bit. And there's a lot of things I want to cover with you, but more importantly, what I want to do is make sure that everyone in this room has a chance to interact more and connect, because really, that's what this is all about, and that's what we need as much as we can possibly get. The other thing I need to do is let everyone know, where's Chad? Chad, where are you? Okay, so Chad Womack's in the back. He came down from Philly, and he has a jacket on. He has a jacket on because he has to leave, because he has a train that leaves at 8:45, and I need to be on that same train along with a couple other people. Otherwise, we're here until like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to try to go fast and cover a bunch of things, but I want to make sure that I'm here long enough to answer questions, any concerns you have, et cetera. So just bear with me, because we're going to kind of crank through a bunch of stuff. Can everyone hear me okay in the back? We're good? Okay. One thing I want to do before we get started, it's always helpful for me to understand who's in the room. And so just very quickly, if folks can kind of give me an idea of what you're up to. So I'm going to ask a couple questions just to kind of understand who's here. How many people are actively working on a startup? Damn. That's all right. Okay. Wow. How many people are here because they want to work on a startup? All right, so the people that had your hand up first, you need to talk to the people that just put their hand up, so they're looking for something to do. All right, so then also, so let's kind of cover all pieces of the ecosystem. So those are our entrepreneurs. What about people who fund startups? Do we have any VCs that are here? I know of one that's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Raise your hands up high again.
Need to bring your checkbooks with us.
All right. All you need is a picture, so you know how to find them. So okay, so we have four that are funding. Okay. Anyone else that is a part of the ecosystem? Angel investors. We have angels. So we have an angel. The other guys, I guess, are VCs. And then anyone that's kind of working in the space as an attorney or any other type of service provider. All right. Oh, and one other part of that. Currently in school, either as an undergraduate, a graduate, or as a professor. That's awesome. All right, so basically, with that little roll call, what we have is the full, if you will, the full ecosystem. So if you're in here and you have an idea, you now know that there are people in this room that are a little bit ahead of you, because there are people who already have a startup. Oh, and let me ask this question. How many people have startups and they're funded? Seed, bootstrap, whatever. All right, so there are people here that are a little bit ahead of you. So that means that you get a chance to learn from them what you should be doing now so that you can be where they are, right? If you're already funded, more than likely you're in the process of plowing through those funds, which means you need to talk to some of the VCs and angels to talk about what do you do for your next round. Those people are in the room as well. You've got attorneys that are service providers, they're here. You've got students, professors, et cetera, so you have an opportunity to learn the latest and greatest thinking, what's going on the college campus. So all these things are very important, and they all kind of work together. And so it's really interesting that we can say we have all of that in this room, because in most cases, the full ecosystem is not active when you talk about people of color. And so that's what we want to talk about tonight as well, is that all of us have a role to play and we've got to do our job. And if we do our job, then we will see the face of entrepreneurship change dramatically. So that's one of the messages from me that I have even before we get started, is that this is really all about mobilizing the community and getting all the pieces of the system working together. So that'll be a theme. That's something we'll come back to. So as Christine said, I'm with DreamIt Ventures. I'll get into what DreamIt is in a few minutes. But what I really want to talk about is minority entrepreneurship. And more importantly, where are we today? What does that situation look like? I'll give you an inside look into DreamIt to a certain extent. I actually have, as one of my special guests, one of our entrepreneurs that just finished our program in December, so I'll introduce him as well. And then lastly, let's talk about the future state, or more importantly, I guess, what I think is where this whole thing can go and how this whole thing can really start to turn around for everyone involved. So if you think about the startup economy and the way it is today, there's a whole lot of excitement about it. There are people tweeting about it. You hear about companies going public and getting these ridiculous valuations. So all of a sudden, it's become exciting again. It's being glorified again. All these things are happening. And so if you just kind of read and listen to what everyone is saying, then you get this picture that everything is beautiful, everything is rosy. You can just kind of walk out of this building and trip over a bunch of money and make your stuff happen, right? And if you believe what's going on in California, then you believe anything's possible. And anything's possible for anybody. And to a certain extent, that's true. However, it's easier for some people than it is for others. And that's what is not getting enough attention these days. And it's not so much that it's not getting attention. I should take that back. Obviously, it's getting press. And I guess you guys, I think your first event was with the CNN documentary. Is that right? Or did you guys do that?
Oh, we did that. That was our second.
Second event. So you've seen, most people are kind of familiar. How many people saw that documentary? Okay. So that covered an angle that opened up the world to Silicon Valley. But here's the thing that doesn't really get covered. Silicon Valley is such a small part of the puzzle when it comes to people of color. So as much as people will say they want to integrate Silicon Valley, they want to diversify Silicon Valley, there's all these things they want to do to Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is about this big. And most of us actually live east of the Mississippi. We're not even in that time zone. So what happens between the startup capital of the world, which is over in California, the number 2 spot now looks like it's New York, there's a whole lot of people in between those two cities. And there's not a lot going on that's really focused on helping those individuals. And how do you, if you're in any of those in-between cities, how do you get involved? How do you get connected to this? So right now, it's really in vogue. Entrepreneurs, they are truly the future of innovation in this country.